All right, you betcha. All that kind of shit. We're actually Minnesotans who live in Minnesota, and since it's like January now, mid-January, and it's Fargo weather. Actually, the movie was kind of filmed in the spring, and they had to keep going north.
They were chasing
snow. Yeah.
This was filmed at the same time Mallrats was.
Oh, really?
Mallrats, they were so worried because it had to be New Jersey of like filming snow, and then they were like, "Oh, beautiful, we don't have any." And meanwhile, the Coen brothers were like chasing their way up up the state.
So we're here to review Fargo, and we're like I say, we're Minnesotans, and we live in Minnesota, and this review's being shot in Minnesota, and so it's kind of more relevant in that aspect for us. So it's kind of cool that talking, like I hear some people with that accent, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like, I don't
they
know how,
nailed that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how they or why they have it personally, but you know, because I don't think we do. I mean, I don't think me and you do. You know, I think we just have, you know, kind of normal American accents, but whatever. I like to think I don't have a Minnesota accent. Minnesota. So I'm really conflicted, well, not really conflicted, I kind of know how I feel about this. One thing that I wanted to say is, like, it feels like this movie would have been, and this is how I've always felt about Fargo, is it feels like it should have come after, like, I might be more, and this makes absolutely no sense, but it does at the same time, I might be more light or easy on this movie had it come after, like, Barton Fink. To me, that transition of Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink, and to Fargo would have been much easier than, like, and then Hudsucker, rather than like going from Barton Fink to Hudsucker, which is just like, I think just great, probably a lot due to Sam Raimi's involvement as well. And then back to Fargo, it just, that is something unfortunately I'm never going to be able to undo, like the order and those have come out, and I think that, you know, I don't think it, you know, I don't know. So that's what I think about it. I just think that going from bleak, you know, Crossing, bleak Fink, to really kind of cool whatever Hudsucker back to bleak was just whatever. But that's just a side point. So on to Fargo, I was never, obviously I've seen this in a theater and all that kind of stuff. We saw it before it opened wide, and we had to go to Minneapolis or whatever to see it. Did you do that? Mm-mm. Did you see it in the theater?
I didn't, my parents wouldn't let me see this
one.
Oh,
because you were, I keep forgetting he's like younger than me.
It was weird, like,
well,
they took me to the theater to see something like Working Girl, but they didn't take me to the theater to see this, and I don't see much different. I mean, this is more violent, but they also took me to see, like, Eraser and...
Did you see Scream?
Scream,
in the theater?
yeah,
I mean,
so, like, I don't get it, but they, like, right when it came out on VHS, we watched it as a family, so, yeah.
Okay. So what was I getting at? Oh, I was just saying I saw it in the theater, right? Yeah, we had to go to Minneapolis to see it in one of them theaters before it kind of opened. I think even when it opened wide, it wasn't really a hugest opening. I'm sure, I can't remember. Whatever. So to make a long story short, I was kind of, I mean, this movie has never really agreed with me, basically. And the stars, I don't know where I'd place the stars. This movie rubs me the wrong way, and it's always been one of those movies that's like the comedy and seriousness elements always just conflicted for me. It's just like, I remember being in the theater and having, you know, when the woman's sitting at home watching whatever, and the guy comes up with this ski mask, hockey mask, comes up with a ski mask, and he's looking in the window and stuff. It's like the audience was laughing, and rightfully so, and then he's like, you know, it starts off like a funny scene, and then it's like, then he breaks in, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. And that's a perfect example for the whole movie for me. It's like, it's conflicting for me, the whole movie. Do we laugh at this, or is this horrible? And it's one of the few movies that I can think of that's actually like that for me. And that's one of the hard things about it for me. That's just like, it just kind of disagrees with me in that way. Why don't you take it from here, and I'll think of stars, and maybe I'll bounce back. But the high's going to be -7 tomorrow.
Well,
I just want to hear your what I'm going to assume is praise.
Yeah, this is the Coen Brothers' best movie for me.
This is for you. It's their best movie.
Hands down, without a question, their best movie, and that's saying a lot because most of their movies are quite amazing. And this is an easy 4 stars. The look of the movie is fantastic. They really capture Minnesota winter at its worst, which apparently was a feat for them to do, but they did it.
Why? How was it a feat?
Like, because they had to track where the snow was, because they filmed it in April.
That was a good planning.
Yeah, and then the dialogue is just fantastic. Like how they capture Minnesota-isms, like, oh, I don't know, just, he's funny looking, you know, just sort of in a general way. Like, that kind of, there are definitely Minnesotans that talk like that. They really kind of nailed that, and the Pancakes house, and things like that, that just, they humanized these horrible characters, and that was interesting, and like, there's, outside of Marge, there really isn't too many likable characters in this movie.
That's my problem.
But you get to see how, like, you almost want to root for some of them, even though they are kind of horrible characters, and it's like this weird, it is a conflict thing, but the movie is just fantastic, and I love that it is both funny and serious at the same time. Like, it just sort of seems real and natural, like, being a big crime story in Minnesota, like, it is just kind of a funny thing to think of, like, these ultra, like, hip crime people who are, like, running around in the snow, like, slipping around because it's ice and...
Ultra hip crime people?
Like, I mean, like, what's his name, Buscemi and whatnot, he's, like, talking super fast and fly and all this kind of stuff, like, very Tarantino. And like,
and the other guy from Fargo, we don't know his name, but that's how you refer to him as.
Pretty much. He's been in other things.
No, we're reviewing Fargo, so in this case, he's the other guy from The Lost World.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot he was in The Lost World. And
in Minority Report, he goes. His intro is. And his snot coming. That makes a lot of sense. God, that was such a dumb.
But man, Fargo, like, I can't speak enough praise to this movie. Everything is great. It has so many great images, such as like the bloody snow from the wood chipper and stuff, which is now an iconic moment for when you think of Coen Brothers and stuff. And when Marge is at the crime scene, and then she just kind of bends down and she stays for a second, and they're like, "You find something, Marge?" And she's like, "No, just think I'm gonna be sick." And like little things like that are just so good. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm better now." And she won the Oscar for it, and she should have. Like, that was just such a unique and interesting character, and she played it so well. You'll never see a detective like that in any other movie ever, and if you do, it's not going to be as it's not going to work. I don't think it could work in any other kind of movie. It just sort of works in this, and Macy is amazing in it.
See, I've never been a fan of Macy. Well, is that his name, Macy?
William,
like that?
Yeah, William
well, I
Macy.
always want to say Macy's or something, but yeah, Macy. I've never been a fan of him. This is the introduction to, you know, as for a lot of people, him. He was actually, in retrospect, having seen Shadows and Fog again, I saw him in Shadows and Fog as a bit part, but yeah, I've never been a fan of his. Continue.
Oh, he's a tremendous actor.
I mean, I think he's perfect for this part.
And, yeah, he's great in it, and how he just gets so befuddled, and at the end of the movie, he just can't keep all of his life straight, and he just kind of loses it. And like, I liked all that stuff. It was just. There's nothing in this movie I don't like, and then who's the name of the person that Marge goes on a sort of date with? It's not a date, but it's just a dude from high school. It's like Dan Yadamita or something like that. And,
yeah, that might be it.
I liked him. He's a completely purposeless character, but he's the character that gives her purpose and makes her reevaluate what she thought of her first instincts about the Macy character, because of how she felt towards this character, and then how upon rediscovering him and having that little lunch date thing.
Michael Berryman makes an appearance. He's
Bruce Campbell's in the movie very briefly on TV. They're watching TV.
Yeah.
He's on there, which is kind of cool.
But back to Michael Berryman. Yeah, he's a mechanic or something, in the Hills Have Eyes guy. I think, isn't he from here?
I didn't know that. It quite possibly
I
could
think
be.
he might be.
And I like the whole subplot with the 3-cent stamp, and like that. It's kind of.
Oh yeah. See, I haven't seen this for a while, but back in the day I watched it a lot, so it's kind of ingrained there.
Yeah, but I just adore this movie like none other. 4 stars. This is probably in my list of the 20 best movies I've ever seen.
For me, it's like kind of this whole aspect of I don't really like Jackie Brown Jackie Brown Reservoir Dogs, where it's kind of like the characters for me aren't really particularly interesting, so it's just kind of like I'm not really drawn into. I just don't really like the ordinary, like just crime people like doing ordinary crime. To me, it's just not interesting. I know some people think it's some people like that, but I just don't like that. So the stars for me is difficult. I haven't seen it for a while. Probably just 2.5 stars for Fargo, just because I was leaning towards maybe I'll just do one of my famous 2 3/4 stars actually, because it's right in between 3 and 2.5. We'll go 2 3/4 stars. I should probably rewatch this, but I like I say, back when it came out on video and stuff, I watched it over and over because I don't know why, just because. But I never really was like one of the only reasons I liked or watched this was like, oh, that's Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's highway whatever.
Don't go back and do that with Jingle All the Way.
Why?
I just rewatched Jingle All the Way. And,
I mean, can you see? Are there any shots where it's like that's me?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Because I was watching a shot where the kid was like climbing up a ladder, and I'm like, that looks like Matt's legs. Is that you?
Yeah, like I was the one that was like close up climbing with the hands and stuff.
Is there a far shot of when like you're climbing up a ladder and you like disappear over the ledge or something? Because I'm like, that looks like Matt's legs.
No, I don't think that.
So there's shots that you can say that's me?
Yeah, there's multiple shots where I can say that's me.
That's great.
So, yeah. But anyway.
He was in Jingle.
I was in Jingle All the Way.
Jake Foley.
Double for
Did you ever find any of those pictures?
Yeah, I do have some of those pictures. I actually brought them over to my other house. So
anytime if you could.
Yeah, I can pull one out for
this
the
is
next
like 2 years.
I know, right?
I've been wanting to see those pictures
since we did the Star Wars review.
2 years, yeah. So
well, this will happen.
You know what?
Yeah.
If I see you again this year, if I see you in November or whatever, we got to review Jingle All the Way. Have the pictures ready for the review of Jingle All the Way, possibly in November or something like that. How's that? Can you do that?
Yeah, we should do that. For like this coming winter, we need to review Jingle All the Way.
There you go. Okay. And then we'll say, we'll put the picture, we'll probably do full screen picture of you and Jake Lloyd in the hotel with Star Wars figures or whatever pictures you got. So I think that ends for me. It's 1 and 2 3/4 stars. 4 for him.
4.
In one of his top favorite 20 movies of all time.
It's one that I have friends who like Coen Brothers and they just haven't seen this, and I'm like, how are you a Minnesotan and haven't seen this? And I bought the Barnes & Noble. Currently is having a buy 2 get the 3rd free sale on everything at the store. So for DVD, Blu-ray. So I bought the Blu-ray for this, and because I don't own it on Blu-ray, and that's my goal, is to get all my friends who haven't seen it yet to watch this.
All right.
So yeah.
Sounds great. Thanks for watching, and stay cold out there, because unlike when they shot this movie, it's freaking January now, and it was just a couple weeks ago the coldest it's been in like 20 years.
Yeah, and it was like only 4 or 5 days after it was like 45 or something like that.
How was that for?
Apparently, I was talking to somebody whose driveway cracked and buckled because it was 100-degree difference, because it felt like negative 52, even though it was only like I say only like negative 32 or something like that, but it felt 20 degrees colder. Driveway cracked in half. They thought it was like a bomb going off because it just.
Oh, the sound of it?
Yeah, the sound. They thought a bomb went off, but it just completely cracked down their entire driveway and like split upwards, and that's going to cost like tons of money.
Well, thank
Minnesota's dangerous, folks.
you. Yeah, you don't even have to do anything. It'll do it by itself.
Yeah.
Well, shit, that sucks.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for watching.
Thanks for watching our review, yeah. I'm gonna go in now, yeah.